Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge Lines Forever. Today I have a 3v3 ladder match here on the most amazing Roxas map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting with blue team in the north, also known as Team 1, ending with red team, also known as Team 2 in the south. Starting off with Team 1's Western player, we have in Amethyst Purple, it is Boom King playing as a Seraphim. He is a 1560 rated. Maybe he'll cause an explosion. Maybe he will be the explosion. Let's see what happens with that. To the east, we have in Royal Blue. It's not me, but it is him. He is, I should say, a 1493 rated. He is a Seraphim for this match. And rounding out Team 1's lineup, we have in Stitch Blue. It is System Failure. He is a UEF. He is a 1666 rated player, the highest rated player on Team 1. So at Team 1 side of the map, they have two Seraphim in the west, with a UEF in the east. Starting up with Team 2's Eastern player, we have in orange color orange. It is Sailor Moon playing as a Cybran. He is a 1505 rated. To his west, we have in Chevy Crimson. It is the other Cybran player for Team 2. It is a Wind Runner. He is a 1320 rated. And last but not least for Team 2 in the west, we have in Ruby Red. It is Excited with two X's. He is just that excited. He is a Seraphim for this match as an 1892 rated, the highest rated player on Team 2 and in the game overall. For the Team 2 side of the map, they have two Cybran and one Seraphim. No UEF tech, no Aeon tech. Team 1 has no Cybran or Aeon tech, which means there are no Aeon players in this game. Apologies to those loyal to the princess. Hopefully you enjoy the game nonetheless. And for these 6 players on the map, let's take a look at the reclaim situation. Currently sitting at 40,000 mass in reclaim. That is a heaping amount of mass per player. That is 6,000 mass. Actually, more than that. Pretty close to 7, I believe. So, lots of mass for players to scoop up. Definitely worth scavenging in the middle of the map. But there's also some closer, thousands, 2,000, that sort of thing, near the main players as sets of mexes. Taking a look at where the mexes are located on the map in general, they're just everywhere. This map is not a desert in terms of mass in reclaim or mass on the mex side of things. We do see, take a look at Team 2 side of the map specifically. We have a couple of trimexes and a quad mex on the western side. On the eastern side, we have a heaping amount of mexes. I think that's a 5-star mex with a little dot on the little end of it, and there is a 4-star or quad mex position in the east. There are some mexes in between the players, but realistically they're on the edges of the map. At least the greater majority of them are. And there is some mexes in the middle. There is some avenues to get there. I feel like a lot of the major combat will be happening on the eastern and western side, but the middle does have some avenues. They're not super wide as the ones on the sides of the map, but you can get a little bit of a nice approach going at an angle instead of going straight up and down. Taking a look at players that are headed off to in this game, we have one player on each team for Team 1 going for west, middle, and east. Team 2, we have east and middle. West has not really left yet for Excited, but I wouldn't be surprised if he heads over there here shortly. Taking a look, of course, as well, where scouts and other smaller Team 1 units starting to run around. We have a couple of Selens starting to annoy Boom King. Boom King just no scruples, no issues about that little Selen running around. It's just a tiny little Selen. What could that do? It is going to go after Team 1 Mex. It probably will kill it off, but again, one Team 1 Mex. It is annoying to lose this early in the game, but there are some Thams that end up killing it off anyways, so nothing really worrisome there. Kind of surprised that, oh, nope, I just had to say something. Excited has started to leave his main base and go westward. We do see that most likely combi action will probably happen in the middle first between Team 2's Windrunner and Team 1's It's Not Me. Again, there's 4 heaping amounts of a reclaim to grab players immediately going after it. We have It's Not Me doing, I think, the more sensible approach. Spend a little bit of time to go for a factory and then pump out engineers and increase the rate at which he reclaims faster. We do see engineers going to be dropped off by Excited to help thin out the reclaim field on the eastern side. We have a couple of Selens hanging out near the reclaim field on the western side. We have some units trying to get by on the eastern side here for Team 2's Sailor Moon denying a couple of mexes. Will they deny it? No, they deny 2 of the 3. Almost the third one. 40 hit points remaining, 10% remaining. if he will. Oh, no, never mind. Scratch that. One more Mantis was like, no, I will finish the job that my brothers started, and he did decide to do that. We do see that. Actually, Excited is going to shift his transport westward. Let's see if he goes for a frontline Team 1 facility first. And again, kind of copies what It's Not Me is doing. His reclaim field is almost bare, and Windrunner is almost done with his. And I would assume that all of the players' mass bars, yep, kind of filled, not really filled. Definitely filled. Definitely needs to spend that mass there, Boom King, and filled as well for It's Not Me. So players have a lot of mass at their disposal. They just need to spend as quickly as possible. Actually, probably faster than they're getting it, so that they don't fill up their mass bar. We do see there is a nice little Team 1 PD emplacement that has been denied by Boom King. He's actually come to join his teammate of It's Not Me in the middle here, leaving his forces to kind of fend for themselves. So we do see Team 2 starting to push in a little bit more on that western side. Excited hasn't gone full-blown front line yet, but he is getting closer to it at least. Team 2's middle player of Windrunner going for gun, so first upgrade of the match has been started. So we'll see what happens with that. And then eastern side, Sailor Moon running around. We do see a heaping amount of Team 1 Mantis running around. We even have System Failure having to fall back just a tiny smidgen to deal with those income units. T2 pillars are now online for him, so he's getting those more tankier units online, and that will kind of thwart all of this aggression from Team 2 for now. Gun is done. We have a couple of units bleeding through the middle here from Team 1 onto Team 2. And Windrunner going for stealth now. Maybe he'll just go full nano and call it a day. Units, they're getting caught by those T1 PDs. Nope, that's a T1 AA actually. But T2 land is done. There is a nice little Cerberus PD going to be built. There will be a dead T1 mechs, but this should be more than enough to deal with it. Yep, there it goes. And bombers over the top just to cement. Oh, a little bit of friendly fire there, but nothing too damaging. Stealth is almost done. Will he go for nano immediately? No, not yet. He wants to probably use that comm. Of course, there are some units trying to echo what their former cousins used to do moments ago, so that is kind of the way of the game. Maybe your strategy works the same 3-4 times, maybe it doesn't. Players adapt and try to counter as best as they can. We do see a couple of units starting to stack up. Team 2 Succeeded has pushed through and starting to grab this mech's location over here to the west. Actually, we have even more units to the north for him as well, going after a couple of now T2 mechs for Boom King. Not doing well here. Team 1's western side, lots of holes. There's a large force inbound. Gun started here for Team 2's is Sailor Moon. So both of the Cybercoms going for gun pretty early, decently early, and gun has been spotted by It's Not Me. So he's going to be aware that T2 started here for him, and we do see Boom King now at 1-star veterancy on the western side, and System Failure going for some T1 PD to help again secure that eastern front once again. Stealth started on board the Cyber Commander of Sailor Moon. So both of the Cyber Comms going for gun and then stealth, so we'll see if Sailor Moon breaks the mold and goes for nano as well. I don't know if he will, but who knows? And look at that force just starting to roll on forward. There are some T2 Ilshis nearby for Boom King. Those should be more. Well, one isn't going to be enough, but those coming out as fast as they are should be more than enough to deal with that group of Team 1 units. And I'm kind of surprised they just haven't completely just sweeped over this western side and eliminated everything over there and been done with it. We do see a counterattack on the eastern side starting to form. Sailor Moon now done with the stealth upgrade. And of course, he has gun on board, going to stop these pillars, or at least try to stop these pillars in their tracks. And we do see the pillars are just going to continue on southward. We wouldn't be surprised to see some bombers inbound from him to deal with that. And they're getting into some more, not necessarily sensitive locations yet. Once they get over here to the more western direction, that's when it starts to be a little bit more concerning for Team 2. And still no on-comm action has occurred. We have another attack also inbound from System Failure, who's going west around the comm. So we have a western front and an eastern front starting to emerge on the eastern front. So we'll see how Sailor Moon counters that. Of course, this front is a lot closer to the base, and that Cerberus PD that was built moments ago to deal with the Team 1 units actually coming in kind of handy now. Western side, Team 2's Excited really starting to just carve his way forward and take everything in front of him. And Team 2 will probably start to catch up to Team 1 in Eco. Team 1's only ahead by about 20 or so. So it's not a terrible amount to be ahead. They're assassinating some T2 mexes now. Rhinos might not be able to save this one. 200 hit points. Yeah, they will be able to save it. And that'll be the end, essentially, of that attack for now. So Team 2 is doing very well on the western side. Team 1 starting to push back Team 2 on the eastern front, but for now, it's kind of dead even. Still no combi-com action as of yet. Kind of surprised that there hasn't been a frontal assault by either player in the middle. Again, it's not me going for more defensive T2 plays with PD and whatnot. And Windrunner has taken some damage, but I don't think it was from a comm. I don't think the comm moved in that I saw. And again, I could have missed it, and that is entirely possible. The fact that I caught everything that I did in the AV8 that I casted yesterday was just amazing. It was a really, really good match. If you haven't seen it, go ahead and check it out. 8v8 has come back. It is a very, very long time since I was able to cast an 8v8, so I was super, super excited. Super, super excited. Great match. Really, really good match. Lots of explosions. Lots and lots of explosions. That's a little hint in what happened in the game. Gun started here for It's Not Me. Teacher started here for System Failure. And Nano started for Windrunner. Again, he's in the high green, so he's fine. But he just wants to be sure just in case. You never know. Your opponent might have a trick up their sleeve or arm or chassis or whatever you want to label it as for these commanders. They don't really have sleeves. So a couple of Ilshis running around here for Team 1's is Boom King just trying to thin out the number of Marauders from Team 2. We do see some of those engineers have survived and some of the mexes have as well. So Team 2, look at that, slowly starting to get ahead. 350, 340, now in favor for Team 2, but not by much. Sailor Moon still defending with his commander, getting lots of veterancy. He's now at 2 stars now. And I wouldn't be surprised if by 20 minutes he's already at 5, just because he's been attacked relentlessly by System Failure. Almost another name for some reason. Nano half done here for Windrunner, and T2 started here for Boom King. So everybody on Team 1's going to have T2 engineering tech on board to help defend. It looks like Team 1's going to be more of a defensive posture. Anyways, gunships inbound to deal with some Ilshis. Gunships inbound to deal with some Mantis. And those ASFs from, who is that? Is that, that's It's Not Me, is dealing with that quite nicely. And Nano Repair started for the eastern player of Sailor Moon. He's going for it as well. So it looks like the Sirens are copying one another at this point. One goes for one, then the other one has to go for it. T3 Air is also done for Team 2. It has been for a little bit. And Team 1 is also have T3 Air, of course, with me mentioning ASFs. But again, T3 Air happens a little bit later in the game because of it's just land focus with radar, but ladder and stuff like that. Just tripping over my words today for some reason. T2 Air is also done for Excited, and T2 Air might be done for Sailor Moon. We could see a lot of gunships running around here for Team 2. We could also see maybe somebody focus on air as well and go 2 air players. But again, highly doubt it in a land map like this, especially when you still have bleeding going on. We have a couple of units making it by the defenders in the middle. But T2 gunship is online. That should be more than enough. And then a spy plane kind of comes and says, "Hi, what's going on over here?" And Nano is going to finish, but he's going to take some damage. There is a Percy in the mix. Ooh, you got to finish that upgrade. 98. Oh, I don't know. He might not finish it. It was progressing pretty quickly. Sailor Moon needs to overcharge. Overcharge gets a little bit of efficiency, but I don't think he'll survive this. There's so many units here. Oh, 1,000, 2,000 hit points remaining, and he survives. Ooh, that was very, 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 very close for him, and he's going to hang back and relax. 96 hit points a second regen. Oof, that was very... Oh, well, I don't think he's going to survive this. T2 gunships are inbound. Stingers are going to go after him. There is a tiny bit of flak nearby. Oh, he's dropping a couple hundred hit points a second. Now he's fine. He's back down to 23. He does survive a possible another snipe or kill there. It looked like that Nano was going to finish almost immediately, and then it just took forever to finish the last 3-4%. But he survived just barely. So that was the first, that was close kind of thing. He's like, oh. That was very, very close for him. And he's probably glad that he had all that veterancy, because he probably would have died if it wasn't for that. Western side, we see Excited. Looks like he's just patrolling for reclaim. No, actually, he's just kind of running in place for whatever reason. And then in the middle, we have Windrunner kind of just hanging out all by his lonesome. This is the part of the game where players start to focus again more on T3 mexes and going for more T3 land facilities. We do see in the West that Team 1's Boom King does not have T3 land, which is kind of surprising considering that everybody else on Team 1 has T3 tech in some degree. Team 2, same situation. Actually, not same situation. Every situation. Team 2 has T3, air or land tech. We have T3 land actually started for Windrunner as well. Again, kind of surprised he's not going for T3 just to help out, but you never know. Again, the Seraphim don't have any T3 gunships, so it's probably smart that he doesn't. He is producing his own just to assist with air-to-ground weapon systems, but unless he wants to get some Cybran tech, he's probably just going to stick at T2. That's probably fair. We do see Western side, lots of Ilshis. Gotta love it. Love those backwards walking units. Again, they look like they're walking backwards. It's just weird. But again, I love the design, though. It's funny that I kind of give them crap about it, but I do really love the design of the Ilshi. I think it's very unique. I wouldn't say unique, but very rare to see kind of the way that the legs bend and all that stuff. Sailor Moon over here with a couple of bricks hanging out. No loyalists. Definitely kind of missed opportunity there. We haven't seen a lot of tac missiles from anybody in this game, coincidentally enough. Maybe we've seen, maybe there have been a couple, but there is some Team D dotted around, but not as much as you would kind of expect from 1900s and 1700s almost. Not a lot of tac missiles, especially for Boom King and Excited. They both have Seraphim comms, and the UEF commander of Signal Runner of System Failure as well. I'm confusing like Sailor Moon and Windrunner essentially. Kind of surprised that there's no tac missiles on the comms yet, but we're still at 20 minutes. We still got plenty of time to see what our players end up divulging at the end of the day. Boom King over here with some mobile tac missiles, so we have that degree, but nothing stationary or comm related. We have a T2 artillery place being built, and the shield should hold for a little bit of time, but I don't know. Eventually, Team 1 will win that out. Nano repair has been started on board Excited's comm. 21 minutes. I feel like that's kind of late to go for the first one. We do see a lot of Medusa in the mix, EMPing all of these Ilshis. And there is just a small roaming band. We're at the comm of when he went back home, but it doesn't look like he can go home just yet. He's going to help intercept this group of forces from It's Not Me. Eastern side, lots of units starting to stack up. More bricks than, I think, AA and missiles, I think, are starting to form. Team 1, nothing really up here to the north for System Failure. Looks like he's going home and hanging out and rethinking his life or something. Western Front T2 also started here for Excited. And 22 minutes on the clock. Team 1 and Team 2 have not lost a player yet, so they're at 3v3. Eco situation barely favors Team 1. It's been very back and forth about who's actually winning Eco. So realistically, I mean, we're talking about less than 10,000 mass total accrued between the players. Very little amount of mass. Very, very, very little. In terms of map control, it's still about, I'd say, 50-50. I think Team 2... Again, a little bit less, I'd say, because they don't have the middle of the map now. But again, they are advancing now on the western side. So again, I'll say 50-50 and call it a day. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. As always, thank you for watching. I really, really do appreciate it. As we watch Boom King be surrounded by Optims and Ilshis. And I think this might be the first departure of the game. So you might have to retool your hypothesis about who you think is going to win this game. There goes Boom King first. Oh, there he goes. First kill of the game. Goes the Team 2's Excited, and that western front is going to start to collapse. It has been slowly collapsing, to be fair. We did see, earlier Excited was able to invade and actually take over some of these mexes up here, and it's just going to, I think, going to be the culmination of that. I have an issue with my eyes and could generally not see. Oh, that's not great. I definitely understand how he feels. I don't have great eyesight either, so that not fun. I would agree. And it could also be, 3 o'clock in the morning or something, and he's just too tired. Who knows? These players play at really odd times just because of life and whatnot, so it's just kind of how it goes. Excited has some Ilshi issues to deal with. He has a couple of missing mexes over here, and definitely needs to shore up defenses in the middle. Again, with the departure of Team 2's Windrunner from the middle of the map, it kind of gives Team 1 a little bit more carte blanche to deal with some issues that they're experiencing on said western side. T3 land is almost done, but there's a large group of Ilshis inbound, and that is probably not a fun day to deal with that. We do see Eastern Side Sailor Moon dealing with a couple of Percys. Again, it has to be careful that he doesn't get one tap, but again, brick walls do provide some nice defense and a little bit of offense, of course. Lots of T2 Gunthers online, and that should be more than enough to say, shoot, go away, shoot, go away. Ooh, grabs that Percy on the way out. That's gonna leave a mark. Ilshi on Ilshi crime here in the west. Now we have an off and evening, not even evening the odds, just overpowering the odds. T3 almost done for Excitedcom in the west. Wants to make sure he's nice and plump, which is interesting because you would think that he would just go for the advanced nano and call it a day. But, you know, T3 gives you access to SAMs and all. Well, actually, Seraphim don't have SAMs. So, T3AA and all that stuff. We do see more Percys now on this more western-ish side of the eastern side. We have a monkey being built very far forward. Again, as much as I like the monkey, it's very cheap and all that stuff. You know, the amount of Percys that System Failure is mounting is, or surmount? No. What's the word I'm looking for? Not surmounting. Accumulating. I think that's probably a good word for it. You can pretty much one-tap that monkey, so just got to be careful with it. Bricks have to take a lot of the incoming fire, and all these engineers just, you know, distracting all the shots from the Percys. This is going to leave a decent reclaim field for Sailor Moon to scoop up, and he's actually kind of moving in and scooping it up right now, I guess. They're starting to. And those engineers just feeding their families quite well. T2 gunships are inbound. Does he have enough flak? Yes. Oh, yes, T3. He did fine. And gunships go, okay, never mind, go home now, bye. Raz started here on board. It's not Meescom and System Failure going for a Fat Boy. Now that is going to help. The only issue, though, is that there's already a decent amount of T2 artillery here. Once Team 2 sees the Fat Boy being built, this is just going to spam out very quickly, and there's really nothing that Fat Boy can do because it just can't really get close without taking tons of damage. Western side being kind of cleaned out by Team 2. That western set of mexes are gone for Team 1. You can see that Eco start to pull away for Team 2. 1,000 mass roughly versus Team 1's 850. And again, that's a lot of missing T2. Team 1, oh, maybe there's a T3 mix in there. No, there's mainly T2, but still. System Failure finishes that Fat Boy. And Ras is almost done for It's Not Me. He's probably going to go for A-Ras because he's Seraphim. And we do see It's Not Me finishes his experimental. It is a Yathotha, nice little chicken walker running around. He's going to get some SMDs. Definitely a smart play there. And yep, there goes the A-Ras. Almost like clockwork. Team 2, do you have any big ticket items thinking about at least? No. Maybe artillery right here. This kind of looks like an artillery formation to me. Definitely needs some shielding for sure. But maybe he's just getting some more power, which is entirely possible. Monkey is charging the front lines, and gunships are inbound. The AA needs to move up just a smidge. Oh, no, actually, no, it's fine. I feel like we need to move up a little bit more. That range is kind of far, to be fair. And T3 at Percy moving into intercept. The Monkey getting some veterancy, of course. 1 star, probably going to get the 2 stars. And with the assistance of these bricks, distracting a couple of shots from said Percy's. And almost 1 more kill. There it is, 2-star veterancy. Monkey. Fat Boy is inbound, and that will stop that push most definitely. And there's a little bit of an air fight in the middle. Team 1, ooh, that doesn't look good for Team 2. That was a great job by Team 1 just cleaning out the air. Team 1's It's Not Me is currently sitting at almost 100 ASF, so he's in air dominance. Almost goes to air supremacy. Air. I even forget my nomenclatures. Air dominance, air supremacy, and then we have air, right? Oh, and obviously air control, of course. Monkey is retreating in the face of that chicken. I feel like I'm missing, though, nomenclature for another stage of air. Amount of air that somebody has more than the other player. No, maybe not. Anyway, again, I'm kind of, not running on a lot of sleep. My job switched me from day to nights for this week and next week, so my brain's kind of just I'm not firing on all cylinders, so I do apologize. And we have the experimentals for Team 1 kind of just hanging out over here. Missile. Ooh, now we see some TAC missiles in. Oh, do not tell me you try to snipe them. Oh, it was a lovely attempt, but the Fat Boy moved. And the fact that Team 1 doesn't have a lot of power, System Failure does at least. That's good, because that's, more than cuts the hit points for that Fat Boy in half for Team 2 to deal with. But there is some Team D being built, but, you know, that's going to kind of stop the missiles for now. It doesn't stop artillery, but does stop missiles. Large group of T2 and a couple of T3 forces, lightning tanks, a couple of Othams. I would like to see some of those T3 mobile parashields as well as a couple of sniper bots mixed in there. But for the most part, that force is not looking good for Team 1. But we'll see what ends up happening with that. I'm surprised that they haven't gone, you know, mass gunship or bombers or something. Because Team 1, they have air. But we'll see what they end up doing with it. You know, if you don't really use your air and you have the advantage for a long time, they kind of just become glorified paperweights at that point. Backline, nothing too crazy. Another monkey started here for Team 2's Windrunner. And, yeah, nothing too exciting going on the western side. For excited, but, you know, who knows? He might build something crazy like a YOLO or something. Who knows? Bricks taking out the frontline defenses for Team 1 T2. Land headquarters, don't really know why that's there, but, hey, it's there nonetheless. And Team 1 has a backup anyway. Gunships inbound to slowly thin out the numbers, but Team 1 needs all of the mass they can get, especially with the inbound threat to the now west. I was going to say south, but I'm losing my side because of the stuff on left says it's not me, and I wouldn't be surprised to maybe see some units thrown this direction from system failure. And again, there's 2 chickens and a Fat Boy over here. I'm surprised that that chicken doesn't go west. And forces lined up not in a good position for Team 2, so a little bit better engagement for Team 1. But for the most part, I mean, this is only a delaying tactic. Getting more PD online is the main focus. Getting defenses online, that's what Team 1 needs to do immediately. But they're losing out. Again, look at how many mexes they're losing out. And Team 2 is starting to cannibalize that. And get more mass out of it. So, you know, there's that. Not only are they denying mass for Team 1, they're also scooping what Team 1 should have up. So it's kind of a, you know, blessing, not a blessing and a curse, but just kind of a 2-for-1 combo there. T2PD being built. I don't think that's going to stop this group of bricks. This might be enough. There are some, okay, there's some gunships that should be more than enough. They're focusing on the engineers and cutting out the ability for Team 1 to actually build more defenses here. And there's a couple more units, but nope. No, a couple of engineers will survive. But for the most part, that middle base is just not looking too hot. Chicken down the middle, all by its lonesome, no support. Definitely need to change that, because that chicken will die very quickly all on its own. 2 monkeys and a megalith walk into a bar. And that megalith comes to say hi, I guess. SACU is running amok. They are Rambo presets, so here we go. We have some junior detectives on the case starting to rebuild what Team 1 originally had over there. At least system failure did. Wrong button. I've been running at +1 for a while. I didn't even notice. And western side. Ooh, that's an SMD, but nothing too crazy. Air grid going to be built by him. We're going to have 2 air players here shortly. And there it is. Somebody decided to go for it. Nuke is done for Sailor Moon. Not loaded yet, but it is at least built. And there's already an SMD loaded, of course, for It's Not Me. He built that a while ago, so definitely a smart play there. And SMD over here, not loaded yet, but it should load in a very short order. We do see western side. Ooh, that Ilshi and Optim Force starting to come to a head. Not looking good for Team 1, but they do have a lot more defenses than they did earlier, so that might be enough. And they're starting to get a Ythotha online as well. But it's going to take a minute to do that, so I don't really think that's going to work. Chicken down the middle. Again, I don't really agree with why they're sending it all on its own. ASF are going to guard the chicken, so that's something. But there's now a monkey inbound. That's going to just be reclaimed for Team 2. Strap Bomber somehow sneaked in there. Team 1's ASFs miss it for a brief moment. They do eventually shoot it down. Another SMB shoots it down, and Whalers are inbound to assist with a little bit of damage. Monkey now should be pretty good to deal with that chicken, and just needs to move a tiny bit closer. There it is. Laser weapon is engaged. I mean, it will get some... let's see, 20,000. Oh, yeah, it's dead. There it goes. Chicken is dead. A little bit of mass dumping from Team 1. Never really hurt anybody but Team 1. And Nuke is not really loading very quickly, but with that reclaim to the north, that should be more than enough. And eastern side, again, is just stacking up, stacking up, stacking up. We haven't seen an attack brewing in a while from Team 2. They were just on defense at this point, and that's why he's gone for a nuke. He's like, well, I might as well just hang out, build a nuke, and call it a day. And that might work for him. SMD should be loaded, almost loaded by now. Yep, there it is, almost filled. So that SMD will have to be taken out. The bomber, though, that could be an interesting development. Going after the air grid here. Could go after the air grid that's forming here. Could try to go after the nuke. If Team 1 even knows about the nuke, which they do not. And they do have some SACs running around on the front line. Oh, I like the idea of getting some just air scouts constantly flying overhead. But there is a monkey inbound, and the monkey is about to open its laser. And that's not going to feel good here for Team 1's Rambo preset commanders. And there they go. They're going to focus on the monkey. Focus them, boys. Focus them. There goes the monkey, killed off by the Rambos. And ooh, just not looking too hot. Some of those SACs are going to die. The bricks are just overpowering them. Monkey also inbound from the east from Sailor Moon. And there's another SACU dead. And there's another one. And again, the AoE is not helping because it's actually doing damage to the other Rambos. So it's just kind of multiplying the problem almost. Monkey's about to be in range. Oh, Monkey's like, I just need to get like a tiny bit closer, and then I can. Yeah, there it is. There I can fire my laser weapon. There's that. Blows that one up, and there's 2 remaining. And there's another one inbound. I feel like they could have just cut their losses and not risk this other one. There's another one, and there's another one. We have Bomber over the western side, kills off 1 max. I feel like that's a little bit of a waste to go after just 1 max. That's already taken almost 25% damage. There's a splattering of AA around here. T1, T2, and I think T3 is what I saw. So, not really a good position for that bomber. So, a couple of ASFs are not going to be enough to deal with that. Especially with the bomber just sitting right there. My dog just came to say hi. If you could hear shaking her body. And her collar just has a couple of pieces of metal on it. Anyway, eastern side. Couple of megaliths instead of 2 monkeys. And bomber down the middle here for Team 1 going after the land forces. I just don't know if that's really worth it. I mean, yeah, it cuts the force essentially in half, so that's something. But, I mean, the ASFs from Team 2 could have easily intercepted that, so that's definitely a missed opportunity there. Another bomber inbound. That Monkey Lord not feeling too happy now. And again, it wiped out a decent amount of Rambos. So that is something there. Bomber at 1-star veterancy now, almost at 50% hit points. It's done some work so far, but it's not going to go for the main bases, I think, because it's probably going to be too much of a loss. There's the artillery that has been thought about and I thought was going to be built there. There it is. And the nuke is loading very, very quickly now for Team 2. And chicken almost done for Excited. And where'd that bomber go? Don't tell me that bomber got shot down and I missed it. No, it's right there. And let's see what else is going on. Nothing really too crazy right now. It's kind of a little bit of a nice little lull before the calm before the storm, as one would put it. Ythotha going up against a decent amount of T3, T2 units. And I think the Autumns have this, but there's a decent column of Autumns inbound from It's Not Me as well. So we'll see if that's going to be enough. I don't know. It's one of those things where it kind of looks like Team 2 is going to have it, but then Team 1 brings some forces in anyways. The chicken dropping hit points, 20,000 and falling. And yeah, that's what you felt is dead. But it will stop the attack from Team 2 at least, but kind of just a null and void, kind of just, nobody really won on that one radar system in particular. Just nope, nope. Don't like you in particular. The bomber just not really being utilized as well as I think it could be. Eastern side, it's not really worth it. Decent amount of ASF as well as shield coverage. Everybody on Team 2 has the ASF producing facilities. T3 air is online for everybody. And that nuke is now loaded. So that 1 nuke might be the way that Team 2 wins the game. Spy planes over top getting a readout what Team 2 is up to. At least over here, they'll see the air grid being built. Team 2 really trying to counter Team 1 in the air. And the bomber killed off without a lot of fanfare. And the air fight happens anyways. Team 1's going to just massacre Team 2's ASFs, or at least the remaining ones. And, yeah, Team 1 continues their lead in air, but, again, like I said, you can have a huge advantage in air, but if you don't really use it, what's the point? Or if they can use it. He's going for an artillery piece. I feel like that's a little late maybe at this point. Team 2 has a nuke, and Team 2 soon will have an artillery piece. And I wonder what is going to target that, or those artillery pieces are going to target. I would assume, of course, it's the SMDs. That's a kind of an easy opening to allow the nuke to actually land. So we'll see what happens with that. I like how there's just a monkey over here from Windrunner. I don't know if it's his monkey or given over from Sailor Moon to him, but like I said, it's just out of all these orange units, there's just one red one just kind of hanging out. So we'll see what happens with that. We do see some more Rambos over there to the middle. Not really a lot of focus from Team 2 on the middle now. Again, it's just going to be more focus on artillery, ASF, or otherwise, or nuke. They're getting a second one loaded, so they might try to do one after the other kind of approach. And artillery piece is almost done. Team 1, are you building anything excited besides that one artillery piece? No, and it's not really being built very quickly either. They're going for more chickens, more chickens, more chickens, more chickens. And mass FAF farms being built by system failure as well. 42 minutes on the clock, the answer to life. Chicken is down by some Othams, some Nathas and a couple of transports. Some Wish. Oh, I think those are called Wishes, I believe. And 2 Uthothas on the western side. Nuke is outbound from Team 2, of course. Where is it? It's going for... Ooh, Fat Boys are moving. And It's Not Me says, great. Let's Recall says, it's not me. I mean... I don't blame him for being annoyed. I mean, it is frustrating sometimes when you feel like you're trying to do your best and it's just not enough. Oh, that's gonna hurt. Oh no, is that all 3 of them? Kaboom! That's all 3 experimentals on the eastern side. Nice grab there. That thing was probably, what, 80,000 mass? And I thought I heard another explosion, but I think that's just... Oh no, this is the SACU. No. And 56. Actually, that's a lot less than I thought it was. But monkey is dead. And we even see some EMP set SACUs from Team 2. It's actually helping out a lot. And the regen, more than enough. Actually, no, these are the EMP ones. They don't have the regen. But still. Ooh, that one might survive. Nope. No. This is Rambo versus Rambo at this point in the middle. The eastern front is gone. All the experimentals on the Team 1's eastern front, besides the one just built by system failure, are dead. It opens the door for 3 megas to come in. That's a lot of firepower. Even if the Percies could come into range and maybe one-tap one of these and maybe one of the monkeys, that still leaves half of the experimentals to deal with. And I do love how there is AA coverage over them, around them. I love to see that. 2 Uthothas on the western side. It's going to collapse on both sides. Artillery raining in. Again, targeting the power reserves for It's Not Me. And more SACUs going the way of the Dodo Bird. It's Not Me says GG. And yeah, it's not really gonna work. And It's Not Me control case. He's like, nope, I'm done. See you, bye. And that's gonna leave system failure as the last remaining player on Team 1. And Yuthotha on the western side hanging out. It looks like they're actually falling back. And artillery is now targeting this base here for Team 1. He's standing next to a mass FAF. Probably not the best idea to stand next to that. And I think it's just going to be the beginning of the end at this point. There's really not much left on the eastern front for Team 1 to use for defensive measures. I mean, they have a couple of SACUs, but I don't know. And there goes that FAF boy. Again, 3 crabs walk into a bar. 2 monkeys announce their arrival. And that might be the end of the day. It's just build more pawn gateways. And western side, or middle, Team 1 bombers going after a Yuthotha. That's always fun. And artillery landing in on the base up here. Ooh, there goes. Oh, it just took out the shielding. Look at that. Still leaves the P. Oh, no, it's gone. Yeah, here it comes. There's only one. It's coming very quickly, to be fair. And Nuke is still loaded with another one, so he really probably wants to launch it. And I don't think he really needs to. Once the SMD is dead, crabs will pretty much already kill off the comm anyway, so it doesn't really matter. SAC is being built very, very quickly here. There's a little bit of some distractions from them, but the crabs are on a mission. The shield is down, and that will probably be the end. There's the SMD targeted, and it's down. P-gens are going down. Artillery landing close to the comm of system failure. Just blow up the match pad. Oh, there it is. System failure takes almost all of his health down from that explosion, or a series of explosions. And launch the nuke. Launch it. Launch it. Launch it. No, didn't get the chance to launch it. Team 2 Sailor Moon gets the kill. And that is the game here at 46 minutes and 22 seconds on the clock. You didn't launch it. Oh, sad. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really, really do appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I really, really, really do appreciate it. MVP for me, I think Excited might get MVP. That Western collapse definitely perpetuated Team 1's downfall, because now you had It's Not Me focusing the middle, focusing air, focusing left, and the Eastern side system failure just got killed off by a nuke, so that's not really helpful there. But let me know down in the comments again who you would pick for MVP. Thanks so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I will see all of you in the next one.